Diabloceratops, the ultimate prey for a raptor. Many of you see this monstrosity, you say like, yeah, no thanks. Many of you also have no idea on how to tackle this thing, how to approach this fight, or how to dodge its attacks, leading to an extremely high death toll on this hunt. So today we're gonna be covering the Diablo, its strengths, the bugs, and its weaknesses. And we will get into several strategies on how to take them down effectively and precise. So first of all, some stats. Alright, so it has a weight of 3000, a speed of 36 kilometers an hour, and a bite force of 275. It also has two stances. I'll be referring to them as normal mode and sparring mode. And both have their weaknesses and strengths, but we will cover that. Now, before we can get into kill strats, there is one thing I feel I really need to teach, and yeah, no offense to all of you, but this is what I see everybody do wrong when facing a Diablo. And honestly, it's not even your fault. Like, in this unique case, it is not really as much as a skill issue as a simple flaw in the game, a flaw acknowledged by Dondi.
I understand Stegos, right?
Yeah.
They're big badasses, right? They could be taken down in groups. Yada yada. When they're in a group, you might as well not touch them.
Question. Goddamn.
What about Dibbles though?
Oh, the angry potato.
Yeah, man, that guy is. Yeah, I don't even. They're Stegos in themselves.
But he does have some unfun forward momentum with his flip attack. His head's a little wider than it should be. And that's known, and that just sucks. And for the moment, the best I can do is go, yeah, I know, and I'm sorry.
But yeah, instead of fixing it, he decided to buff Diablo instead. So have fun figuring out how he got to that conclusion, as it is beyond me why it got buffed. But that aside, to explain the flaw. With most dinosaurs, the hit range is basically visual. If you can see it touch you, it will touch you. But the Diablo is a master of the Force, yeah, trained by Master Yoda himself. Its hitbox extends further than it should due to it moving at a high speed. And with an explosive acceleration, you can see it's starting to run at you, and it's already too late. And we call it a bullet with the Force. I wish I had a nicer name for it, like maybe you guys can think of a name for me. But all you need to understand is that it can hit you even if it does not physically touch you. You just have to be slightly in front of it and you will get hit by it. So lesson 1, understanding its reach and taking countermeasures. The counter to this is super simple. You just give it more space. That's all you gotta do. And if it looks at you, you just run away. Don't even try to reflex it, because it is very treacherous to read the attack and the timing for dodging it. If you are one of the gifted few who have no issues with it, congrats to you, but my advice is give it space. You can also do a little trick to exploit this strength and turn it into a weakness, but use this very rarely. Don't make it your main move, because it can easily go wrong. Essentially what's happening here is you turn their strength to burst you down with good acceleration into an opening to pounce on them. And why this is useful, I'll explain in a bit, but for now just know that this trick exists. It works decently consistent, and the way to do it is to be patient with pressing your pounce key until you're past their head. If you press pounce before passing their head impatiently, you will just bounce off and get punished for it. Also, if you spam this, the Dibble will simply make a read on your next attempt and turn you into fertilizer for the flowers and plants. If you're lucky, you'll just bounce off and get a second chance, but that's rare. Okay, so with that most important lesson out of the way, you can already avoid getting hit by Diablos. Just give them space to not hit you. I like to keep them quite far from me, but in range for an attack if you see an opening, and finding this range for yourself might take a bit of practice. However, I advise you test it, find the ideal radius, and then memorize it, and most importantly, respect it. With that strength out of the way, let's get into a weakness that Diablo has. You see, during sparring mode, when they can move omnidirectional instead of just forward, they are unable to use the alt light or to look behind them at all. This is a very underrated weakness I see very little people exploit. And I think it's because of the fear of thinking he knows you are there and is preparing something for you. But if the Diablo uses sparring, you cannot see behind him and you can definitely catch it lacking. One telltale sign, however, if you see the Diablo look backwards, you know, with head tracking, it means that it has moved out of sparring mode and it is indeed setting up an ult behind it the moment you try to attack. And if you see this happening, you do not go for it. Now let's discuss terrain. There are types of terrain where you can be very dominant in the fight, like open fields or any open place in the map. A beach would also work just fine. Just do not face them in jungle terrain. This is almost always true for raptors, that in the jungle you just avoid certain species, and Diablo is definitely one of them. You will be at a massive disadvantage, and another one worth mentioning is certain camp spots. Like, if it's on the edge of a cliff, you're simply better off to disengage. Like, in general, I'd like to apply the rule of if you did not drain its stamina before it starts camping, then you are better off giving up on the hunt. Diablo is one of the most dangerous things you can go for, and terrain is very important, so keep that in mind. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Killing methods. Now we have done a lot of research on what works best against the Dibble. We've been trying with bleed, that didn't go so well. You can definitely bleed a Dibble out, but it just takes way more pouncing than it would take with the damage bounce. And additionally, there's another issue, and that is when they really start camping, and I mean hardcore inside of plants and stuff, you cannot really land the pounces and stuff. So like our main thing we usually try to do is to drain their stamina and set up a grapple. However, once you start to focus on that, you know, like tunnel vision towards that goal, you'll start to run into a very annoying mutation called tactile endurance. Tactile endurance converts incoming damage to stamina, so the Dibble keeps getting stamina back if it's camping like that, because your method of application will become biting it, and biting it equals doing damage equals giving it stamina. So that's like a never-ending cycle. And then it becomes a question of who's gonna die first, you know? And these battles are drawn out and very long, and I find them quite ineffective. So you can definitely stamina drain it. However, one thing has stood on top of the others in terms of effectiveness and how reliant it was. Still has the same limitations when you run into a plant camper, but that's the damage bounce. Because you only need 3 damage bounces to take it down. Just 3. 3 good bounces and it's dead. So what we end up doing these days, we just spam damage bounces. Big bounces, small bounces. If you can get 3 seconds of damage bouncing in, you go for it. And because you're so focused on just, you know, killing it with damage, you're not trying to grapple, you're not trying to do anything fancy. It doesn't matter if you bite it and it gets stamina back, because it's no longer a factor, you're just trying to melt it. And on Dibbles, so far it has proven the most effective out of all. It is a 3-man job. If you want to be comfortable in these hunts, I recommend 3 raptors at the very least. This is not one of those things that you can just solo for fun. Unless you find a really bad one that's spamming its alt attack, yeah, okay, you can take that one down. But if you find a Diablo with a brain cell, there is a high chance that it's gonna start camping, and you might have to back off. If it's, you know, between stupid and good, like an average Dibble, then you might get somewhere with like damage bounce spamming. I like to use the concept of good players and bad players, that they represent weak and strong animals in the animal kingdom, you know, like the sick and the healthy, the old and the young, the fit and the not so fit. So I think people playing the playables definitely helps representing that, and you really want to go for the middle line here. Like if you find a strong as hell Diablo, there's a good chance he's gonna decimate your entire pack. Just a warning. But bare minimum, 3 raptors and you can definitely get things done. As soon as somebody gets a good damage bounce in, that person falls back, gets stamina, rotate, the other 2 keep it busy. Do not try to pounce it all at the same time. Just one at a time, chill, and don't try to immediately grapple it. Because a creature of 3 tons 101% of weight to grapple with full stamina means you would need 3 tons and 30 kilograms. And that's a lot of raptors. There's not even enough pound slots to get that done. So you really want to drain it first. And by damage bouncing it, you also kind of bleed it a little, so that's also very helpful. It keeps losing blood little by little because you're biting it, and bites actually take some blood away from it. And the damage bounce might not inflict any bleed, but it does actually inflict like 0.1 bleed. And what that does is it means it won't be healing blood for the next 90 seconds, you know. I'm gonna show you guys a few clips of how we went about it. I also managed to squeeze in a 2v1, and that was really like bare bone. So I guess the bare minimum for a dibble hunt would be 2 raptors, but it's very rare to be successful at that. It's crazy. Yeah, let's just get into the clips. Here we take it on with only 2 raptors, so below the bare minimum, so this is gonna be tough. Our plan right now is to land damage bounces and stay above 60, so that we do a lot of little ones and get the ball rolling. And there he got the first one. I will not join him because I need my stamina. We need to spread out our stamina. It's a very important resource during this fight. And yeah, one at a time basically. Now I'm going for it. And just like that, I'm gonna start regenning again. If it chases you, just let it. You kite it, make it burn up stamina. That's completely fine. Also, you got the luxury of just sitting down in an open field, because you will kind of pull it out. It's really good for baiting. And as I'm telling to Apex right here, don't be near trees or objects, because you want to bait it into the open. If it wants to get you, it has to come to the open. That's another thing you can do. Same principle. Get past the head before you press bounce, and then you can land those. And you need some high ground for that. Don't do it from a lower altitude or from the equal altitude. Always come up from a hill when you do these snipes. Now I know I can just sit down, because if he wants me, he's gonna have to come. See? He's like, I don't like you sitting down. Okay, that's cool, but now you're getting pounced again. Just like that. It is very effective. Now I'm above 60, so I don't really have to sit down. I also have to make sure he doesn't. Although it is not that important, but you know, when they sit down they heal faster and we want to chip it down. Just using chip damage at this point. You don't have to worry about tactile, you just keep biting it. Because during those damage bounces it also kind of loses that stamina. And if you can bait an ult like that, that's perfect. Just make sure you don't get caught off guard. Here. Just don't go for it at all. I'm being very disciplined on that. Because here's the thing, if you hit the tail tip and he hears that rag and then fires his alt bite, it will still get you. That's why it's so dangerous. You cannot blitz it. Also, another tip I have is make sure you're on either side of the Diablo. You kind of disable sparring mode this way, because he cannot... Oh, look behind. Oh man, I did not see that tree. But like, if you cannot use sparring, that's already 1+, because then you can bait out the alt attacks, and the alt attacks are very punishable. Just gotta be really, really careful with it. Now obviously this is gonna take a second. I'm gonna have to be sparing with our stamina. He's got a bounce in, perfect. Now I'm trying to get back. Oh. Oh my god. Like, Raptor is superior with agility, but not against Diablo. Diablo's the king of agility, of movement. You do not beat a Diablo with movement. Like, I'm head tracking him here, and I knew he was gonna ult, so I backed off. Doing it again. Each time you see that head going sideways like that, he's looking behind him, testing for an ult. And you just punish it like this. Oh, oh, that was really close. Damn. Here I'm making distance again, because I don't want to get hit by that force field that's in front of it. And this is about the distance I keep from my dibble. This is what I feel comfortable with. Ooh, I could have bounced. Ooh, I got lucky there. Took him a second too long to put his camera behind him. Now Apex is getting stam. I'm keeping the situation under control, minimum risk. At the same time, whenever I see an opening, I go for it. Like, don't be too scared, because if you don't do anything, he will just heal up again. But restraint and patience. You want to be as precise as possible. Because if you get hit really well by an ult, you're pretty much on thin ice, and it really creates this fear factor. That's also another reason why we want to go for damage bounces, because when you're on the dibble, it cannot hit you. So it's a very safe way to transfer your stamina into damage. Apex is coming back in, but he sees him, so I immediately apply pressure as well. And stay on both sides of it, keep it busy. Now it's in the open again, ready for another pounce. And he can go for it, boom. And now I trot my stand back. As I said, these fights take forever. You really have to stay with it all the way. Just gonna try get a stand back again, but it might not work. He is focused now. Oh, nice. Oh, he's in trouble. I gotta do something. Oh, I saved him. You can kind of cancel out damage to teammates by pouncing them on the right spot, because it just cancels out the attack. But it's very hard to pull off. But the fight would have been over if I didn't do that. So we have a little bit of a lucky grace here. Now, very important, he has his back towards the jungle. I don't want him to go further that way. So I'm gonna try to get close to bait him to run at me. That's kind of my next strategy here. But I have to be careful. So if he does hit me, I'm in trouble. Getting that close with that acceleration, yeah, this is like the risk zone. Now, fair enough, my reflexes are absolutely like ready to spring. Doing some fake run sets. Yeah, come. Oh, didn't work. But you kind of want to pull him out this way. Make him think he can go for you. Diablo's not moving much because he wants his stamina back. And I got punished. I'm gonna recover that real quick. And we got a grapple off. Let's go. However, it's not enough. We can only do 2k damage. So after this, I'm gonna have to disengage again. The Debo is on 0 stam, so he can't really chase me. Like, getting hit by a pounce does give them some back, but the damage pounce itself doesn't actually replenish it. So I can just back off. He does have a little bit of stam though, so I have to worry about that. But I'll just kite it away from him. And redirect him back into Apex. And voila. Alright. Now I gotta regen this. Apex is gonna keep him busy. So I'll just skip ahead. I managed to get my stam back up. And now we can finally finish it. He's near some really annoying trees, so we have to be careful with our pounce. But this part is like lightning. As soon as one person gets on, the other one needs to follow within split second. Absolutely fast. So, let's just get that done. I think we can pull it off. He's in a good spot to do it. I just gotta hit him with it. Maybe we can bait out an ult and then just get on it. There we go, and here we go. This is it. And voila. He's going to die. Yeah, he gave up. That would have been a kill. Now I got another clip, and I'll show you guys how it goes with a big pack and a lot of inexperienced raptors. And yeah, even though me and Apex were able to do it without taking a casualty, you'll see in the next clip that a big pack doesn't make things easier. It makes things more chaotic. Alright, let's go. He really wants me first. Yeah, good. I already got hit this way. I'm gonna do a thing. It's gonna work or not work. Come on, run at me, you bastard. Yes, damage comes. Oh, you really gotta defend sliding. If you slide, you're dead. somebody can pounce him. Ooh, careful. Notice jumping when you're about to die is really good on Dibbles. Really clutches you out. Why did I hit the raptor? No ramp, of course. It's gonna do an alt. No! I would have died if you altered that. in. Who's going to death? Now, as you guys might have noticed in that last fight, I got wounded, and every time the Dibble looks at me, I run away in a straight line. The reason I do this is because running around it is just impossible. Sidestepping it is impossible. Like, that hitbox is very generous and it will get you. So I hope you guys will take my example on that and start doing it as well. It's going to save lives, so cheers. Also, next one on the list is Stego. So yeah, you guys got something to look forward to.